Today on Huntington Classifieds, we're going to be talking about the fabulous 50s coming up.
This Guy's Garage. Like and subscribe.
Welcome back to This Guy's Garage. Today we have another edition of Huntington Classifieds. All right, first on deck we have a 1954 Mainline. This is a car that's near and dear to my heart because I had one when I was in my 20s. Very fun car to drive. What's special about this car, what was new in 1954, is it had independent front suspension, which made these cars drive a whole lot better than the previous generation. So it's a 54 Ford Mainline. It's flat black, so this is a runner. Really nice moon disc hubcaps and red steelies. The 54, you can tell it apart from 53s and 52s, is the center bullet. Jet on the hood. So this car is a decent looking old car. It could use some love, but it's pretty decent for the most part. It's a two-door. Trunk gap could be a little better, but some finesse, you can get that ironed out. But really nice seat here, and it's got a modern 302 V8 engine under the hood. And one thing about the high output 302, if it is a high output 302, it sounds pretty close to a flathead mill. It's got a nice little cam bump to it. It has a floor shifter in it. That'd be a low car shifter. It looks like there's a tack here. Aftermarket stereo. The cool thing about these cars is the speedometer is actually lit with glow-in-the-dark paint, so the paint would absorb light all day, and that's where you get your speedometer lit at night. It'd be from glow-in-the-dark paint on the glass. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, I had one of these cars that were a lot of fun. Mine had skirts on it. Was a shiny black, unlike the flat black on this, but I like this car. What's the money look like? 7,000 Canadian dollars, which is under $5,000 US. So one thing about 50s cars, the market has gotten soft. I don't know if it's because the greatest generation has stopped buying these cars, but these cars are ripe to be picked up reasonable rate at the moment. I think 50s cars are going to see a resurgence again. Up next, we have a 1955 Crown Victoria, which is $8,000. And $8,000 Canadian is $5,600 US. Up to 10 years ago, you couldn't buy one of these cars these reasonable. They were sought after. The Crown Victoria nameplate brought money. Now, this car is in primer. It's a project. It needs a bit more work, but these cars do command more money when they're on the road. It does not have the glass top, but if it was a glass top Victoria, you wouldn't buy it for anywhere near this amount of money. What I do see here is the door caps are probably not the best. This car is going to take a body man with a good amount of finesse to put it back together. But this is a pretty solid and pretty straight looking car that needs some love. I'm not sure if the trunk is sprung because there's no latch in it, but it's a nice dual exhaust. So this has a 272 V8 engine. Original Y block, I believe they were. Interior is presentable. Needs paint work. Like this car does need $8,000-9,000 spent on it to make it what it can be. There's a tear in the seat here, so you're gonna have to spend some money on this car if you're seriously interested in buying one. But it's definitely worth. It's not priced so high that you couldn't get your money back if you were just doing the labor yourself. But it's solid on the bottom. Let's see what the ad has to say. Description: 292 4-barrel automatic. Motor is allegedly overbuilt. I like that word, allegedly, by previous owner. It is wired up to start, but the rad is not hooked up, so it can't run for long. But you can hear it running, so that's the main thing. Frame is completely redone. Needs fuel lines and brake lines, all new brakes and suspension bushings. 99% complete. Parts missing are the front windshield. That will be an expensive piece. I don't know how much you pay for a windshield, but you're going to pay money for it. Hood trim along the bottom of the hood. Uh, I'm not sure if that's available aftermarket, but it should be. Pretty much everything else is there. The back glass is in good condition, is factory tinted green. So yeah, these cars came with beautiful tinted glass, and they were always painted a pastel color. So if you've seen one of these cars, generally they had the glass top in it, and that was a tinted green color, and back glass was tinted green, and it give you a green glow on the inside of this car. These cars are going to make a comeback, and they are still cool and desirable. But this car is all there, and it's a worthwhile project if you ask me. All right, last but certainly not least, we have a 1959 Ford Ranch Wagon. It's priced at $7,500. And this is pretty much a car in a box. It's put it back together, put your own engine in it sort of deal. $7,500 Canadian. And this is pretty close to the Maine-Calais border. This car's in New Brunswick, Canada. The other two cars were in Ontario. I will travel to buy cars, so it doesn't bother me where I look. We have a 1959 Ford Ranch Wagon. These cars are cool, and a wagon is always desirable. It is painted, it's ready to put back together. You would have to do an inventory accounting on this thing when you bought it. You'd have to make sure that all the chrome is there, because this chrome for this kind of car, if you don't have it, you're not going to find it. So you'd have to make sure everything was there to put this car back together, or negotiate a price that you can live with, because you're going to have to buy it. So description: a rare wagon. The body is totally rust free. I bought the car disassembled in 2015. The car has been restored, and the body has new paint. The stainless has been buffed, and the rest of the bright work is still quite presentable. Note: car only for $7,500. The original drivetrain is not there. So this would be an excellent cruiser. You can pick up Crown Victorias for nothing, and 4.62 valve engine or an even older 302 would make this car an absolute dream to drive every day. So that's what we have for today's episode of Hunting Tin. Which of those fabulous 50s Fords would you buy? Till the next time, you can hit the subscribe button right there. You can catch another video right here. This guy,
This Guy's Garage. Like and subscribe.